Hi, welcome to our live product demo featuring Express Entry, a global cloud-based service that utilizes a type-ahead search functionality to complete addresses with up to 50% fewer keystrokes. I'm Abby Teleria, reporting live from Melissa Data's headquarters in Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Joining me today is our data quality analyst, Ed Dombrowski. He will highlight Express Entry's amazing capabilities. You'll never have to enter a bad address again. Before we begin, we'll have a Q&A session at the end. You'll be able to type in your questions through the GoToMeeting interface. We'll answer as many questions as we can, but if we are unable to get to your question, Ed can answer offline. This webinar will be recorded, so let's get started. Ed, I'm handing the mic off to you.
Thank you, Abby, and thank you everyone for attending. Introducing Express Entry by Melissa Data. Express Entry is Melissa Data's auto-completion web service that returns verified and standardized addresses in real time. The problem: an average of 35 keystrokes are typically required per address. Using forms to enter address information is a common need for businesses with websites. Many forms require the user to enter their full contact information, but addresses at point of entry require typing and are not verified. One solution: require users or customer service representatives to type in full addresses. Once the addresses are collected, they can be verified by a data quality solution. But the user doesn't know if you have their correct address and may even have entered it incorrectly. Typing in the full address requires more keystrokes. What if the addresses could be verified as they come in? A test of addresses sampled from the United States has shown that Express Entry saves about 50% of keystrokes. Two main modes of entry are given: fielded input and freeform input. Fielded input saves an average of 5 keystrokes over freeform, making an average of 7 keystrokes per address, but requires the postal code to be entered in the first of 2 steps. Freeform input takes an average of 12 keystrokes per address, but searches the entire country data in 1 step. Here is how freeform input works. You start by entering the address line 1 information into the form's input field. In this example, we start entering 1000 into the field, and the system immediately responds with addresses that start with 1000. You can customize how many responses are returned by the service, and the default is 10. In this example, we select 1000 West 20th Avenue in Anchorage, Alaska as the address for which we are looking. Note that the zip+4 is given for all addresses. After selection, address line 1, address line 2 if necessary, city, state, and zip+4 are entered into the form. This was accomplished with a minimum of typing, and the address returned is a verified deliverable address. Fielded input is a 2-step process in which addresses are narrowed down by zip code in the first step and then completed in the second step. There will be a demonstration of both freeform input and fielded input after the presentation. Express Entry has rules about how addresses appear in output, rules that are consistent across the data. Responses are always standardized. Pre-directionals, ordinals, and post-directionals are always abbreviated. Suffixes are always abbreviated according to USPS standards, and street names are never abbreviated. USPS standards ensure consistent data. Express Entry is a web service, so there's no need to update files. The server is updated quarterly with new data. If you're looking for an address that you are not sure exists, the search feature is a handy tool for finding it. You can backspace to broaden the search and add characters to narrow the search. Express Entry is secure, supporting a novel token system for the authentication of service requests. Finally, Express Entry returns zip+4 for US addresses with or without suites. Global Express Entry has been released with support for more than 250 countries, including Canada, Great Britain, India, and China. Express Entry Desktop Edition is our application which will populate address screens and forms without having to code. Express Entry Desktop Edition uses a system of templates that control output into any Windows or web form. Melissa Data has partnered with the Netsterm company to bring Express Entry to the Shopware e-commerce platform. This plugin will autocomplete locality from postal code and thoroughfare from locality using Global Express Entry's endpoint. This plugin has the security benefit of letting your users know that you have their correct address, and the convenience benefit of saving time at the shopping cart and reducing form abandonment. Melissa Data is also releasing a plugin for the Magento e-commerce platform soon. Express Entry is available for Salesforce, enabling you to add contacts with verified and standardized addresses from Melissa Data. Like all our other products, we provide free trials. With the loyalty program, by displaying the Melissa Data logo on your page, you can get 3,000 address completions for your users. Express Entry by Melissa Data brings address auto-completion to all of your applications. Okay, so for this demonstration, I will use the address of Melissa Data's headquarters, 22382 Avenida Impresa in Rancho Santa Margarita, California, as an example using Express Entry's auto-completion ability. In freeform, I start by entering the premise number 22382 and the beginning of the street name, AV, and I see that the address comes up last on the pick list. I can select the address, and the fields in the form are filled out using JavaScript jQuery. Address line 1, address line 2 if necessary, city, state, and zip +4. For fielded input, I start by entering the zip code, in this case 92688, and then I select the city and state of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. For the next step, I only need to enter a few characters, 22382, to reach the desired address. Fielded input generally requires less keystrokes than freeform. Express Entry also has a global capability. As an example, using the address 44 Cedar Heights in Whitecourt, Alberta, Canada, I start by choosing the country. Then in freeform, I can start entering the address. I get about as far as 44 Cedar Heights, and the address I want appears on the pick list. I select it, and the form is filled out, again using JavaScript jQuery, in this case with the street address, locality, administrative area, and postal code. Express Entry supports the variations in international addresses by having fields that cover international address data. Fielded input is similar. Choose the country, enter the postal code, select the locality and administrative area desired, and only a few characters should be required to get the address. For those not wishing to code, Express Entry Desktop can provide a solution. This is Express Entry Desktop's main page. Start by choosing a country. In this case, I've chosen the United States. Enter the postal code in a fielded type of search. In this case, I'll enter 92688. I choose Rancho Santa Margarita, California, and the program automatically takes me to address line 1, where I can start typing the address I'm looking for. Verified standardized addresses are returned to pick from, and when I choose one, it is automatically entered. Now I just make sure that the cursor is at the top of the sample form, and I can send the address using Express Entry Desktop's main screen into the form. Any form, such as a web page, Outlook, or Windows application, may be used as the destination. The newest version of Express Entry Desktop will include 4 new features: support for suites in the US data, the ability to define 5 hotkeys for sending address data to 5 different form layouts, an option to send the data in all caps, and the ability to lock down input and output templates.
All right, thank you, Ed. Now we're going to move into the Q&A portion of the webinar. So if you have any questions, you can type them in now, and we'll start going through them. Okay, the first question is, how does Express Entry support abbreviations?
Predirectionals, postdirectionals, ordinals, and suffixes are abbreviated according to the USPS standards, and street names are never abbreviated. So you'll find that like a street name of 23rd Avenue will be 23RD AVE, and you also find that all the easts are abbreviated to E, all the wests are abbreviated to W, and so on.
Okay. All right, another good question. What web technologies does Express Entry support?
To consume the Express Entry service, JavaScript jQuery, C#.NET, and Visual Basic.NET are supported, and sample code is available for these languages. However, any language with a key up listener and REST support will work, since Express Entry is a RESTful web service and requires requests to be sent after every keystroke.
Okay, we'll wait a little bit more. Okay, another question is, how much does the service cost?
Please talk to a Melissa Data sales rep for pricing. It is based on the number of addresses taken from the web service. All of the requests are logged, so we get a representation of how many keystrokes you sent, and it is on a tiered basis. So depending on the number of requests that you make, the pricing works in tiers.
Okay, we'll wait another second for any other questions to stream in. Okay, it looks like that's all the time we have right now. If you submitted a question that did not get answered, please contact Ed via email or phone. His information is provided on the screen. Again, thank you so much for coming to today's webinar, and have a great day. Bye.